want to learn how to draw this cute hedgehog, go ahead and get yourself some paper, something to trace with, something to draw your doodle with, and something to erase with just in case you make a mistake. Grab your crayons, grab all those supplies, because we are about to create this adorable little hedgehog. So stick around. So we are going to make our paper tall and skinny for our little hedgehog. And I am going to draw directly in Sharpie marker. We are going to make our hedgehog fit a good majority of this paper. So what I'm drawing is going to come out very big because I do want it to take up a lot of my paper, even though hedgehogs can be a little small. I'm going to do what kind of looks like a W with an extra U attached to it. And this is just going to be a little bit of that spiky prickles of his coming down in the middle of his forehead. And then I'm going to come on each side and I'm going to do a curved line out. And right now, to me, he kind of looks like a little chick. Kind of looks like a little chick. Then I'm going to come over here on the sides and I'm going to add just some spikes. Just some zigzag spike shapes. And then I'm going to come straight down. So I'm going to take this line and I'm going to imagine it goes right through here and I'm going to continue down. And I'm going to add in another little spike of fur. And then I'm going to come down and around. Down and around. And I'm going to leave a pretty good area here because I'm going to add his little feet. Now I'm going to come back up to the very top and I'm just going to give him two little ears. Just two small little kind of organic shapes for his ears. If it's hard for you to make that weird little wiggle, then go ahead and do an oval or even a half circle like a bear would be okay. Now we're going to work on his face before we add his feet. So I'm going to come right about here, top middle area, and I'm going to give him just a teeny tiny little nose. I have never had the privilege to play with a hedgehog. I've seen them, but I've never been able to really hold or pet one. But I do know they have the cutest, tiniest little noses. And then I'm going to go ahead and give him a little fishhook mouth. And I call this a fishhook mouth because this kind of looks like a fishhook if we were going fishing. On each side of his nose, we are going to do ovals for his eyes. And inside those ovals, I'm going to do an upside down number 8. So the bigger part of my 8 is on the top, and the smaller part of my 8 is on the bottom. And those are just some shine marks for in his eyes. You can color those in with your black marker if you're drawing directly in black like me. But if you're drawing in pencil, wait. You don't need to color that in with the pencil. It's just kind of a waste of your graphite. You can always go back in and color it later when you get your marker. Now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to add his little feet. So I'm going to make kind of like little, kind of like an oval shape. They're not going to be too big. It's going to be a little bit on the small side. And once you make that shape, you can go ahead and draw a straight line across for how he is sitting. And we can add the little marks at the bottom of his feet. So 3 very small little circles for maybe where his toes are. And then maybe like a triangle or an oval shape on the bottom of his foot for where the basic part of his pad would be. Now we need to add all of the fun little zigzags and pokes and spikes going outside of our little hedgehog to give him that outer part. So I'm going to come up here to the top and I'm going to do just a couple little spikes right up at the top of his head. So I added 4, looks like 2 M's connected. And now I'm going to kind of go around his body. just in a circle motion. So I'm going to come down at a curve, like if I was going to make a big circle, and I'm going to just keep making my points down. So I make kind of a curved line, and then I come up, and then from that inside I make a curved line and I come up, and I'm going to turn it and make a curved line and come up, and then I'm going to finish his body right there into the side of his leg. Now I'm going to come back up to the top. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to curve down and come in, curve down and come in, and this is just a way to give him the look of being spiky. So try not to round those edges. Try to keep those edges nice and straight. He is missing one thing. He is missing his cute little hands. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to give him two little U shapes. Just some small little U's. And then at the end of his little hands, I'm going to add two little tiny lines. And I'm going to add a little horizontal line here, a little horizon line going across. So that way he's sitting on the ground, he's not floating on our paper. So I have my adorable little hedgehog. Look at him, he is so stinking cute. I cannot wait to color him in. So I am going to outline now. If I drew in pencil, you can go ahead and grab your black marker now and give him a good outline. And if you have him outlined, go ahead and grab your crayons or something to color with, and we can add some color to our very cute little doodle. I am going to go ahead and speed up my drawing and show you how I colored him in. So go ahead and grab those crayons and let's get coloring. Oh, he is so cute. So I am going to go in now and I'm going to add a couple shadows. So I'm going to go on my brown. If you have a darker brown, you can use that. I'm going to use black. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to color really light, just wherever something overlaps something else or where something is touching something else. So right here, and I'm only doing on the brown right now, where his hair, his like bangs right here, kind of overlap the rest of his hair in the back, I'm going to add a little black. I'm just going to color just a little bit, and I'm not pushing down very dark. I'm just coloring over and over and over until I get the amount of dark that I want. And then I'm going to do the same thing by his ears. So his ears are kind of on top of that fur or the prickles that he would have. So I'm going to color just a little bit there. And then I'm going to come down, and that's probably about it for his black, for the black on his brown body. I can add a little bit here where these little pricks kind of poke out on each side, and just give it a little color there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in on his little yellowy orange body there, and I'm going to grab the brown. You have a darker color of this, then you can go ahead and use that. I'm going to use brown because I don't have a lot of options with my twistable crayons here. And I am going to go in and color just a little bit on the inside of where his ear kind of folds over. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to finish that shadow that was on the other side there. So I'm going to curve around this hair, and I don't want it so dark that it looks like I've colored out of my lines from his hair. I want it to just be light enough that it creates the look of a shadow over his forehead. Down here where his little hands are, I'm going to do the same thing, just a little light shadow underneath each little hand, little paw, and around his little feet. And this just helps give it the look of not being directly touching his body. It gives it a little dimension. It makes it look like it is a little bit away from where it is touching. And it's just a fancy little trick. And with crayon, that's why I like to use crayon, because it is a little easier to add that kind of shadow look. I would like to go down here, so wherever something is touching, I also like to add a little shadow. Your body is going to have a little natural shadow there just from touching that other object. And then I'm going to go in with a darker green. And I'm going to add a little darker green down here on the grass to finish that shadow from where he is sitting, because he is going to cast a little shadow on the grass. And I'm going to color around his feet, around his body here, and I'm just going to make that little shadow going around. And he is all done. Look how cute he is. Oh, he is adorable. I love his little spikes. I love his little smile. I love everything about my little hedgehog. If you had fun with today's doodle, please like and subscribe below so that way you can come back and join me for many, many, many more doodles. I hope to see you again soon. Have fun with your adorable little hedgehog, and happy doodling.